Mm. Howdy, welcome back to the class, Shasta College Humanities 2. Here we are going through the humanities since early modern times. Today we're going to talk about music. Why does music matter? I'm going to post a discussion, look for it. Tell me a story about your personal relationship with music and make a posting and then reply to two of your classmates' postings, commenting on their postings. I haven't listed it up there yet, but you'll see it later today. You have a week to respond. Please do participate. It's part of your participation. We're no longer in the class together, so I used to have discussions in the class. We can't do that anymore. I used to break people up into groups in the class. Obviously, we can't do that anymore. So we're going to break up into the virtual discussion room. So please participate in the discussions and be honest. If music is meaningless to you, tell us why. If it means everything to you, tell us why. If it's just a minor irritant in your life and doesn't mean much, tell us why. And the more you talk in the discussion, the more you participate, the better the discussion. So thanks. Anyway, I am still, I'm endlessly grading your papers. I'm just now getting to the Dutch painters. So please have patience on the grades. The other paper on the playwrights, I think, is due this week, so don't worry about those. I'm not going to worry about them. But you better get it in on time, please. And those that can't get it in on time, you better contact me about it. Some of you have. By being late, because I give you guys quite a bit of time to write these things a week, you do lose points by being late, even if you have a pretty good excuse, because you can really crank one of these papers out in a day or two. So it doesn't take you a whole week. And so if you just wait to the last minute, and I know most of you do, and then something comes up, family emergency, or somebody gets sick, or something happens, I'm sorry. Please contact me and tell me you're going to be late. You have to email it to me because I usually close it down on Canvas. And you'll get some points taken off for being late, but it's better than getting a 0. So try to keep up on those. Try to keep up on the discussions and these lectures. I've said it before, but I try to do these lectures for this class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's normally when we used to meet in the real classroom, and so this is the virtual classroom. I still hopefully will have a Zoom meeting one day where we all meet together, if it's possible. I'm still planning that. We'll have to see how that works, but not yet, so don't worry about it. I want you to go on modules, and you'll see a great, wonderful series on the origins of music. And it's a BBC documentary. It came out a couple years ago. There's 6 parts. We're not going to watch all 6 parts, but you're going to watch part 1, please. It's on modules right now. Check it out. You'll be surprised how we came up with music. What's a musical note? How does it all happen? Do you guys listen to music? Do you listen to contemporary music? Who's your favorite? Do you listen to old school music? Are you guys into 60s rock, 80s rock, 90s grunge? Are you into classical music? Maybe jazz, maybe? We're going to try to cover as much of this terrain as we can. I'm going to spend at least this week, if not maybe some of next week, on music. We're going to go through the whole gamut if we can, see how much we could do. It depends on what documentaries I can find on YouTube for you guys to look at. But most of it's there. The history of blues in this country is really important to who we are as a culture. Where do the blues come from? Well, folks, a lot of it came out of Black American culture and slavery. Hello. And music, a lot of times music does come from struggle and strife, and it makes us feel better. The blues is supposed to be a negative music, a downer music, but guess what? It makes people feel better because they're singing about real things. They're singing about their loss, the unrequited love, the pain of life. And believe it or not, that makes people feel good. Either sing about it or it overwhelms you and it takes control of your life. Music's a great balm for our crazy times we're living in right now. I'm a musician of somewhat. I had a rock band for years. I have a minor rock band right now here in Reading. We've only played out a couple times because there's no place to play right now. And I write the songs, I sing them, I play a rudimentary rhythm rock and roll guitar, and I would say it's based definitely in from the Velvet Underground to the Gun Club to I don't know, alternative rock, I guess you'd call it, or garage rock, whatever you choose. Anyway, I don't like to. It is its own genre, and it's just something to do to express yourself. And I think we all need to have something to express ourselves. And music is a great way of expressing the immediate. I'm also a filmmaker and a novelist, but sometimes it takes me 10 years to write a novel. So it's not that immediate. And you don't know who's going to read your novel, if anybody's going to read it. You spend 10 years writing it, and 4 people write it. And same with your movie. It takes 3 or 4 years to make a movie, and you don't know it's going to get out there, especially now in these pandemic times. How do you get your movie seen by anybody? But when you write a song and create some music, you get immediate reaction because you're playing somewhere live. And I went to live music last week, by the way. I wasn't thrilled with the venue because nobody wore masks. I guess nobody believes in the coronavirus here in wonderful Northern California. I do. And I stayed for 2 or 3 songs. It was just okay. But I'm just happy anybody's playing anything live. That's not easy to do right now in these crazy times. And so I'm missing my live fix. When I lived down in Joshua Tree, I taught down there for a year. If you know where that is, it's north of Palm Springs, kind of an artistic hippie community up in the high desert, Mojave Desert. And I used to go to a great nightclub called Pepin Harris. I went there once a week, maybe twice a week even. They got great live music. Sometimes it's free, and or you pay $20 to see really major, incredible people like Emmylou Harris or Amy Mann or Elvis Costello. X, one of my favorite punk rock bands, they play there. They get a lot of world-class musicians playing there and you pay, sometimes it's $20 to see them in a very intimate setting. It's great. A couple of years ago, they're having a Coachella, which is maybe 100 miles from there, if you've heard of that festival. And Paul McCartney was playing Coachella, and he showed up at Pepin Harris and played for 3 hours. And it cost $20 to see the legendary Beatle up close. It only seats about 250 people, so it's a small venue. By the way, they got great beer and great chili. Their chili wins all sorts of awards. Anyway, it's the Mojave High Desert. It's what you do there at night. One of these days, I hope to relocate there and get a cabin up in do my music, do some films, do some teaching. We'll see. It's still rather affordable. Anyway, that's my music thing. Check out this BBC documentary. Look at that documentary. It's on. I posted it already. It's there. You'll see it. And then in the discussion, I'm going to post the discussion, which I haven't done yet. Tell us a story about your relationship with music, and then respond to other students. And that's it. And you'll have a week to do that. And I do look at those, and it's part of your participation. And I do look at them. And if you don't participate, I make a note that you didn't participate. So you'll lose some points on the final point tally at the end of the semester. Anyway, hope you are getting something out of this class that's not too much drudgery. I teach a film class, and people in the film, we're going to do film in this class too, but not for a while. And people, young people, don't like black and white films. They don't understand them. They don't like silent films. And by the time we're done with this class, they have an appreciation for it. Because it's another art form, and same with music. Early music, maybe it's not your cup of tea. So open your mind. That's what education's all about: is having an open mind and wanting to explore things that you don't normally explore on your own. That's what these classes are about. I'm going to take you on an exploration, and we're going to go pretty deep into music. And today, it's just starting early days of music. During this early time that this course covers, which is essentially 1500 on. So it's with the considered early modern times. So we've got great playwrights. We got people changing, questioning authority, questioning religion, questioning. There's revolutions happening. I just talked about the French Revolution a little. American Revolution's coming, folks. Not here yet. There are revolutions going all over the world. Russian Revolution doesn't happen yet, but it does definitely happens in the early 20th century. We'll be getting into all that stuff. Anyway, right now the revolution is music. And what you'll notice also, I'm going to talk about two key figures in this early on Renaissance of music, and that is Beethoven and Mozart. Two key central figures in the development of music as a way of expressing who we are as a people, as a culture. They weren't from America, folks. They're both Europeans, and Mozart was a child prodigy. They both were essentially. Mozart came a little before Beethoven, and they walked the earth briefly together. And that's incredible, because the body of music they put out, we're still playing it to this day. And if you don't even care for classical music, if you've never got to see a symphony play any classical music, it will change your mind, I think. The power of real live music, 20, 30 violins, oboes, and cellos, and timpani, and piano will, I think, change your attitude on classical music. It's a wonderful thing to experience live. Any live music's wonderful, I believe. Right now, there's not very much of it going on because of the pandemic. Anyway, so look at this documentary. Keep reading the book, the chapters in the book, as we start following Mozart in the one chapter. I think we're in chapter 4 or 5. And keep looking at and delving deeper on your analysis, on your essays. Now, the last essay I assigned was the Black playwrights, and that's a research paper. Research one playwright, but go deeper. Like I mentioned earlier when I signed it last week, don't just give a thumbnail sketch of when they were born, their famous plays, and then they die. That's all well and good, but that's not what I'm looking for. Try to delve deeper into who they were, who they are. 3 of them are dead. I gave you one of them's only alive. So, and how they made a difference in theater in America, and why. Why them? Why not somebody else? They were groundbreakers, and their plays are still performed everywhere, and live theater is pretty dead right now. People are starting to come back a bit, and they're doing performances with small audiences, They're doing Zoom performances. I wrote a play, and I'm going to do a Zoom reading of my play pretty soon, hopefully next month. And so you adjust to the new world order, because it's important to get these stories out there and to not stop. Don't let a little thing like a pandemic stop us. Just like don't let these fires stop us. It's a little bit clearer today outside, not so smoky as it was yesterday, but it goes day to day. Some days it's thick, thick, thick smoke. I don't know whenever we're going to see blue skies again. Probably not till first rain, which is not predicted for a while. So be patient on that. So music matters. Why? Like everything I try to get across to you guys in this class is how important these arts were in developing who we are as a people, as a culture. What makes a culture? Think about that. What is culture? What is culture? It's everything. I mean, is it just the jobs we do or houses we buy? No. It goes beyond that. It's the foundation of who we are as humans on the planet Earth. And no matter where we come from, Asia, Africa, Europe, Eastern Europe, US, South America, no matter where we come from, we all have a world where we sometimes we don't understand another part of the world, but we all want something. We all desire something. We all have dreams. We all have a desire to enjoy and have a pretty good life. We only get one chance, guys. This is it. And what makes it richer? The arts. Music, for one, will enrich your life. Painters enrich your life. I'm going to have other episodes. We're going to talk about painters later. I only covered the early painters and early playwrights, but we'll keep exploring this stuff, bringing it into contemporary time. We're still going to do artists. We're not done with that. We're going to go right up to contemporary artists, Van Gogh and Picasso and Andy Warhol. So we're not done with that by a long shot, but I'm trying to break it up into pieces that so you guys aren't overwhelmed with just me trying to give everything into a week-long lecture. But on music, I think I'm going to change that plan, and I think I'm going to spend the next week or two on music only, and we're going to come right up to contemporary music. So hopefully this is our beginning of music, and we're going to go through the classic music. We're going to go through early 20th century music, which would be jazz in this country, and blues. And we're going to come up into the 50s. Guess what happens in the 50s, folks? Rock and roll. The 60s, real rock and roll, acid rock, hippies. The 70s, then we have techno rock and disco, and then late 70s, punk rock. One of my favorite genres. In the 80s, we've got what they call alternative rock, college rock, bands like the B-52s and REM, Husker Du. Some of my favorite bands on earth come out of that area, the plate replacements, hair metal bands. Maybe you like those. You probably like Poison or something. That happened in the 80s. Motley Crue, Van Halen, you know who I'm talking about. Guns N' Roses, right into the grunge of the 90s, the Seattle scene with Alice in Chains and Nirvana, of course, and Screaming Trees and Pearl Jam, L7, 7-Year Bitch, the Riot Girls, those are all female who were grunging it up with the guys. The dark scene of grunge, Seattle, grunge music, flannel shirts, and a lot of heroin that killed a lot of them. It was a dark scene, absolutely for sure. We'll get into the 2000s. What's going on in the 2000s? Well, then we got the rise of people like early on in the 80s, Madonna, who gave rise to Lady Gaga and um, Katy Perry and whatnot, and then hip hop and rap. Um, and there's some great hip hop and rap out there. That was essentially punk rock for African American inner city people. If it's authentic, I embrace it. If it's not, I do mock it. Meaning, if it's frivolous, if it's lightweight, if it's just copying somebody to sell records, I don't have much respect for it. But if someone's an innovator, whether it's you know, whether your cup of tea is Eminem or you know, I'm drawing a blank right now who I want to talk about because I'm not going to get into that for another week or two. You know, but you know who they are, and they changed music, and they revolutionized inner city gangsta, and they gave a voice to black culture in this country like never before. Anyway, we'll be approaching those things and whatever's going on right now, which I'm not that impressed with. It's hard to find, to me, anything that's raw and authentic. We'll even hit some country and western music. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I like authentic country music from the 50s, Hank Williams or Johnny Cash, or or someone who's authentic. Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, Emily Harris. Authentic. If it's slick, Nashville pop hits, and you know who they are, I don't have much respect for it. Yeah, they sell a lot of records, but it's not authentic to me, and so it's not real. It's something else. I don't know what it is, and it leaves a bad taste for what is authentic music. Always look for the authentic music, the authentic art, the authentic literature, authentic film. It's not easy. You gotta go through a lot of unauthentic things to get to the real. Anyway, so this week we're going to be hitting Mozart and Beethoven. The next lecture, look at the model. Put something on modules on the beginning of music. It's a BBC documentary. It's really good. Start the conversation. I'll still grade your papers. Keep the faith. Stay safe. And listen to some cool music next time.